Riley. Clearly, I'm in my car again. Outside, it's kind of overcast and cool. It's very blustery. But you know, you cannot judge a book by its cover, and you cannot judge a day by the beginning of the day.
I live here in Parisburg, and in Parisburg we're right under the shadow of this beautiful mountain. We call it Angel's Rest. We call it, I don't know, somebody called it Angel's Rest. Maybe you can see it right over here above my shoulder. It's a great mountain. It's this very prominent feature locally. And I'm often amazed at how many people I speak with that have lived here all their life, or maybe many years, and they've never been to the top. So I'm going to, God willing, show you what the top of Angel's Rest looks like today. There's a couple of beautiful spots up there, but it's cold and wet right now. I think I'm going to go back inside, read the news, and have another cup of coffee. And later on, when it warms up and hopefully the sun comes out, we'll go up on the mountain.
I want to tell you what I'm going to do with you in this video today. I am going to show you 4 different places in Giles County that maybe you did not know about. 4 places for the price of 1 video, which is free. Now, if you don't live in Giles County, you might not really care about these 4 places, but maybe you're nearby and you'd like to come visit them. There's really some nice places worth visiting, and if you're not nearby, maybe this would inspire you to get out of your house and see what kind of small local adventures you could go on. Now, just to give you an idea of where we are, not that this is going to be what we look at, but most of us are familiar with this place if you live in or around Giles County. It's called Celanese. And just past Celanese, you start to go over the New River Bridge, which is what we're doing right now. And here's what I'm wondering. Have you ever noticed that just past the bridge, right over here on the hill, there's an American flag flying inside the trees? Do you know what that is? Well, we're about to go find out. Why is that flag flying in the trees just beyond the river? Let's go see. It's just a little short walk to the cemetery, but this little white stripe on this tree lets you know that you're also on the Appalachian Trail. Well, whenever you see 2 blazes on the Appalachian Trail like that,
that means that the trail is turning a corner, and right here it does. So the trail has gone this way, and it turns the corner and goes there, but that's not where we're going, because we're going up here to Paris Cemetery. Have you ever wondered why the town of Parisburg is spelled the way it is? P-E-A-R-I-S. That's kind of a strange way to spell it. It sounds like the capital city of France, which is Paris, but we spell it completely differently. Turns out there's a good reason for that, and it's found right here in this place. This is the Paris Cemetery. Well, it turns out that the town is named after somebody that is buried right over here. And there's the flagpole that we saw from 460 earlier. That's the one that was sticking up through the trees, and it marks this grave right here. Let's go find out what's going on over there. Well, it turns out that our town is named after somebody whose last name is Paris. And this is their family coat of arms. Goes way back, and the fellow, Mr. Paris, is buried right back here over my shoulder. We'll go take a look at that. So this is the grave of Captain George Paris. Captain Paris was a soldier during the Revolutionary War when this nation got started. Captain Paris lived here. He was a young man, he was married, and his regiment got sent down to North Carolina. Why did he get sent to North Carolina? That's kind of interesting. Now, it may come as a surprise to you, but not everybody in the United States agrees about everything, do we? Have you noticed that? And that was true even back in the 1770s. And there were a lot of people during the American Revolution who they viewed themselves as English colonists, not as Americans. And when a lot of the Americans started to rebel and fight against the British, there were a lot of people that lived here that they thought this was a completely wrong thing to do, and they fought back. So Captain Paris was sent down to North Carolina to go and deal with a group of these English sympathizers. And they went down there. There was a big battle. They won the battle, but several people, I think 15 people or so, were killed, and Captain Paris was shot through the shoulder. So he didn't get to be a soldier anymore. He was disabled. He got sent back home, and just days after he got back home, apparently his wife died. It's kind of a sad story. But Mr. Paris became a pretty successful fellow around here. Back then there was no highway. There was not even a train track yet. And Captain Paris built a ferry service where he would take people across the New River on a little barge. I believe the ferry was right down here at Bluff City, about where the bridge is now. So that's who your town of Parisburg is named after. So at this point you're probably saying to yourself, big deal, it's just a grave. That's just one thing. You said that there were 4 things. Hold on, I'm getting there. So here, in just a minute, I'm going to hike up to the top of Angel's Rest, which you can just see through the trees right there. Now, most people, I think, around here, when they hike it, they take a little street that runs right up besides Dairy Queen, and it goes up into the woods, kind of high up the mountain, and they start from there and they hike up. But I'm going to start lower. I think it's going to add about a mile onto the hike. But that's my favorite mile. It's really pretty. I don't think most people take that way. I could be wrong. But I think most people go the shorter way. And the lowest mile is actually the prettiest. It's really nice. So that is the second place I'll show you. I'm not going to be walking alone today. As soon as I get back to the little parking area, I believe my wife is going to meet me there, and she's going to walk up the mountain with me. So here we go. We still have 3 more things to see. Come on, let's go. Well, I said I was going to show you 4 things. This one is the second one, and it's the lowest mile on the Appalachian Trail going up to Angel's Rest. It's quite steep, but it's very pretty. It's almost like fairyland, Lord of the Rings land or something like that. It's really cool. Okay, so that first section was the second thing I was going to show you, and now we're moving on. We're going up to Angel's Rest, and I'm always amazed at how many of my students tell me they have never been to the top of Angel's Rest. So if you have, you know how cool it is, and if you haven't, we're going to show you. So we're on our way up. It's pretty steep. If you hear me huffing and puffing, it's because it's a lot of work, but it's fun. We are almost at the top, and we've gotten into this rhododendron forest, and we've decided that the last quarter mile or so of this walk is really hard. But we're starting to see some views, and that's encouraging. We're going to be up to the top in just a few minutes. Let's talk about time of day for a second. Normally, you'd want to leave early enough so that you could get up here and get back down before the sun goes down. Now, we're not doing that today. The sun's pretty low. We're at least an hour away from the car. We're running out of sunlight, but I did that for 2 reasons. Number one, I would like to take some pictures up here, and usually the sunlight is better late in the day when the light is very horizontal. And the other reason is because the weather was so nasty earlier today, so we kind of delayed getting out of the house, and it really is beautiful now. The problem is only one of us brought a flashlight. I'm not going to say which one of us did because the other person didn't. We'll see about getting down. It might be squirrely. So I was just telling a good friend of mine the other day, hello Mrs. Ogle, that I had this terrible experience many years ago. I was a very young man, and I went out into the woods at night with 2 friends, deep in the woods, and the only flashlight we had between the 3 of us was this teeny tiny little flashlight that you shine on a keyhole. And all three of us had to navigate about 3 or 4 miles through the forest with this one tiny little light. It was very scary, and ever since I carry a flashlight almost any time I go anywhere near the woods. But only one of us in the party has had that experience, and so only one of us has a flashlight. And I'm not going to say which one it is that doesn't, but we'll just leave that up to you. So there's a spring over here where one can refill water bottles and things like that. And it's 0.2 of a mile, I don't know, it's a couple hundred yards that way. But unfortunately, because the sun's so low and our hands are really getting cold, I don't have time to show you that. So we're gonna hustle back to the car. Well, earlier I bypassed Angel's Rest and we went over to the Wilburn Valley landing. But here is the spot most people think about when they say that they're going to Angel's Rest. It's this big rock. And it has a great view beyond it. Okay, so let's review. We saw the George Paris Cemetery. We saw the lower mile of the Angel's Rest Trail. We saw Angel's Rest right here. And earlier we ate a snack at Wilburn Valley. So 4 really nice places that maybe you did not know existed right here in your backyard. If you don't live around here, go find something cool to do in your own backyard. I'm sure that you've got interesting places too. I've been thinking about having a contest at the end of the video to see if anyone can guess which one of us brought the flashlight. So we'll have a guessing game at the end, and if you can figure it out, you'll win a valuable prize. Yeah, there you go. They're only about 30 yards away from us. That guy hears me talking, I think. They're pretty cute. You got this. You got this. A little farther. A little farther. Okay, watch out for that pothole. Okay, you're a little. Okay, farther to the right. Okay, one more. Yeah, right there. You're doing great, honey. Okay. Whew, proud of you, baby. Oh, that was good. Good hike. Yep. All right. Whew. That was nice. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I'm glad that you stuck around this far because I want to let everybody know that we're going to have a little competition at the very end of the video. If you can figure out which one of us remembered to bring a flashlight, there's going to be cash prize at the very end. So stick around for that. Thanks very much.